Okay, we've got a should you summon for the new legend rarity Bardock. You want to know whether it's going to be worth it for you to summon or not. So in this video, I'm going to give you everything you should consider before going into his banner. It's very important that you listen to what I have to say there. Then we'll go into his kit details. I should tell you that his kit is very interesting. New mechanics slightly. And then at the core, going into whether I think it's worth it for you guys to summon. And in addition, whether I'm going to be summoning, as I know a lot of you guys base what you're doing on what I'm doing. Let's get into this. So here are some important things that should be at the top of your mind. The first thing I always say is to consider your chrono crystals. It might not be worth it to get just one copy of the unit because you might feel they're not performing as good as you might have seen them do. If you're a collector, then everything I've got to say in this video is pointless because you're going to summon regardless. There's pretty much no point of you watching besides from maybe just getting my opinion on things, which I do appreciate. But if you don't have a lot of chrono crystals, let's say you have 3,000, you might be fortunate enough to get them in that 3,000, but you can't do any more summons anyways. So it might have been better to just save up and put a lot more CCs into a different unit which you would have more CC for. I also advise not to summon straight away. The banner's release date is the 8th of April, which is tomorrow, and it's going to last until the 6th of May. So you've got just under a month to summon or decide to summon on this character, meaning that you shouldn't make your decision immediately. It's just safer not to. At least wait 1 or 2 days, and in that time you could be watching showcases from big and small content creators. I advise to watch from both so that you can get a widespread opinion on the unit, as all accounts are different, people play differently, people use different teams, equipment, etc. So you want the best opinion you can possibly get before you make your decision so you are happy with that decision. I will also say that the meta is what will dictate whether the unit is actually good or just hype in the first 2 days. Although a unit could look good in a lot of people's showcases, when people actually play them for a couple days, the unit might not actually fit the meta accordingly to other units that are being used. Therefore, you might feel they're underwhelming and be disappointed with the unit you summoned on. More reason just to not summon straight away. I should also put out there that the Battle Hour 2026 is next week. Why am I saying this? It's because I'm telling you guys to consider what's coming up in the future. We're getting a legend rarity character this week, but next week with the Battle Hour 2026, there's a very high chance they will reveal a new unit upcoming. It could be another legend rarity, it could be an ultra, we do not know, and we can't guarantee there's going to be a unit, but there could be one. And a month after that, so in May, we're going to be getting the anniversary. The anniversary starts at the end of May. It would be the 8th anniversary, and that's when we get the most hyped units of the year, if not in the festival, but the festival's all the way in November. Bardock could be good, but there's a chance he could get immediately countered by the next unit or the anniversary unit. So I'm not saying don't summon on him just because of that, but it's something you might want to consider, but you couldn't predict whether the unit will get countered or not. So it's kind of a gamble you just have to take. If you are looking for hyped units though, typically fusions, you're gonna want to have CC for the anniversary, so potentially skipping this could be in your favor. I'm not telling you what to do here, I'm just giving you guys the outlook, the whole scope of the situation. And finally, I need to emphasize that my judgment isn't final. The advice I give you is prior to the unit releasing, and I'm basing it off of the patterns of Dragon Ball Legends. I've been playing the game for 8 years, I play PvP consistently, I am a 56-time God rank player, so I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about to some degree, but the developers are always prone to changing up their usual patterns, so I can't say for certain what I say is going to be the best advice. It's just the best advice I can give prior to the unit coming out, so you can make your decision for when the unit does come out. There's no stats of the unit in game, we only have the kit, so I base it off that and the releases of numerous units. Like I said, I've been playing for all 8 years that we've had in Dragon Ball Legends. But hopefully all of that makes sense. Let's get into the kit breakdown now. Right, so we've got Bardock's abilities here. Let's get into it. So we've got his element, he's super yellow, tags, Saiyan Team Bardock, episode, anime original sagas. From his Z ability, he's looking to be a defense unit. His tags Saiyan, and he also buffs Team Bardock, but it's the additional, so he's only going to be buffing Saiyans throughout all 3 Z ability, but once you get to Z ability 3, which is 6 stars or higher, he will also give an additional buff to Team Bardock, and it's going to be base strike attack 19% at Z ability 3 and 22% at Z ability 4. His strike arts here, it has blast armor, forward moving of course, on strike activation gain 20% damage guard penetration. Now I like this a lot because it applies to yourself, and why that's good, similar to like damage inflicted to yourself, is that even if the enemy switches out, Bardock's going to remain with the active damage, which is good, so you'll be able to penetrate no matter who it is you're fighting versus giving them like damage received or something. So that's solid, and he also does that on the blast darts every time he presses one, which is nice. The blue card here, and you're gonna see after this or even with this going forward, massive impact damage on activation, special move damage plus 50%, also per defeated battle member. This is going to pop up a lot. Special move damage plus 40%, 3 timer counts uncancelable. Now it's per defeated battle member, so you can get up to 130% special move damage if he's last stand. 40 plus 40, that's 80, with an additional 50, that's 130. And if you hit it, you also reduce the enemy's Dragon Ball by 1. It's forward moving, as you can see the blast armor here, the symbol with the yellow. Going into the green is just a standstill power up card. Draw 1 card, health plus 10%, key plus 50, and damage plus 20%, 10 timer counts. Nullify special cover change, so cover nullification. Also per defeated battle member, draw 1 card if hand has 3 or fewer, and damage inflicted. So here you get already 20%. If you're last stand, you'll get 2 extra 20%, so it's 60 in total, and you'll also get 2 extra cards if you have 3 or fewer, which makes it 3 cards if you have 3 or fewer, which makes sense. But you'll always get 1 no matter what, which is nice. Going into the ultimate arts, supreme impact damage, which is natural, we're seeing that consistently. On activation, ultimate damage plus 50%, nullify endurance as expected. Also per defeated battle member, unique gauge plus 25%, so you're gonna get an extra 50% if you're last stand, and critical damage plus 15%. 3 timer counts, you're gonna get an extra 30% if you're last stand. It's the forward moving type, and it has blast armor shown by this symbol here. Going into the main ability, draw 1 card, then draw ultimate arts next, so it's gonna force a card into your deck. Health plus 30%, key plus 50, cancel attribute downgrades under normal conditions, and seal all enemies main abilities for the next 10 timer counts. Also if there's 2 defeated battle members, so this is not a conditional per, it's just both have to be gone. He will nullify element disadvantages, which is uncancelable, and that lasts for 10 timer counts, so it's complete type neutral. And he will also remove the enemy's vanishing gauge minus 100%, give you a bit of an advantage, but if it's a 1v1, it's a guaranteed advantage. Going into the star ability now, he has 340% to his damage guard is 290%, key recovery 70%, draw speed plus 1, and other ally, Team Bardock or Goku, he's gonna get an additional 30%. So let's just assume you're running with Goku all the time. His damage is actually going to be 370, right? And let's just compare that to some units we've got recently. So this is Trunks right here, Ultra Trunks. Let me just scroll up so you can see, right? Ultra Trunks. His damage is 350. With a Goku, Bardock's gonna be at 370, mogged. And his damage guard is 270. Bardock's already at 290, mogged. Let's move on. Here we've got fused with Kami's Piccolo, Piccolo ability, and if we scroll down to his starter ability, right, we see here 330, 260. He's not even close. Like Bardock right now is looking good. And we can also compare him to Super Saiyan 3 Goku Mini. We scroll down so we can see the starter ability. Again, 330, 260, absolutely mogged. Like, it's crazy how much better defensively, but there's also looking to be good offenses Bardock is in comparison to the other Legend Rarity units and Ultra Trunks. Let's continue to the unique abilities. On battlefield entry, draw 1 card if hand has 3 or fewer, which is obviously good. So you always want to get a key on entry. He gets HP, a key on entry, card on entry, he gets HP as well. Destroy 1 enemy card. On strike and blast arts use, he's gonna draw a green card and it will reset every time somebody's defeated. So on strike arts used the first time, he can draw a green card if somebody dies immediately again, and then if somebody dies again, so your last stand, you draw a green card if you press a strike again, which is very useful because his green card gives him a damage buff. And he can also nullify special cover changes, which last for 5 timer counts, but that will reset on switch, so you can get that every time you enter for the first time. And critical rate will also go up, so the first 2 cards will give him 25% each, which can be a max at 50%, and they last for 10 timer counts per card that he presses. When hit by enemy arts or on area change, damage plus 30%, and he's also going to increase their arts cost by 10, and that's every time. So if they knock you to the ground or to the sky, their cost will go up by 10, and if they also hit an arts card against you, their arts will go up by 10, which is going to make it hard for them to extend their combo. When ally is defeated, unique gauge plus 100%, damage plus 40%, uncancelable, and unique gauge charge rate plus 15% uncancelable. Now this is insane, the unique gauge, because you'll see later he has a sustained damage gauge that becomes a release type, and I'll explain why that's important. Spoilers, he has indestructible. But the damage here, he's going to be getting 80% if he's last stand. I think this is just 1 actually, so it would just be the 40, because it says when ally is defeated, but it doesn't say per ally defeated, but I'm going to assume it's per, so it's an additional 80 here, and there's 100% when one is defeated, so he can also get another 100% when the second one's defeated. Unique gauge charge rate is also 15%, and this is uncancelable, which is good. And while not defeated, when enemy activates special move, ultimate, and awakened art or rising rush, unique gauge plus 30% 3 times, ally sub counts minus 3, and all enemies special move, ultimate, awakened arts power minus 30%. So he debuffs them and lowers the sub count so he can get out of there, and increases the unique gauge, but he will not cancel buffs from the blue card, the ultimate, awakened art or rising rush being pressed by the enemy, which is important to note. So you kind of want to get him out of there unless the indestructible is active, which we're about to get to in a second. His blast darts is the cover change. He cover changes blast darts, and he can combo that into blue cards only, not his ultimate. And going into his unique gauge, like I explained earlier, he has a sustain type gauge that turns into a release type gauge. So the sustain type gauge, it fills up by him actually taking damage, but it's also in addition to his allies. So how it says here, sustain damage type charges slightly when hit by enemy arts, and also when other ally is hit by enemy arts. So it doesn't have to be him to fill his gauge. And the release type is just something that decreases gradually. Now let's get into reading that. Starts as sustain damage type, starts with 50% charge, which is good, so you can get it filled pretty quickly. When unique gauge, so this is as it is a sustain type, when unique gauge becomes full, it will switch to release type, cancel attribute damage under normal conditions, and ally sub counts -3. And while it's a release type, he will have indestructible. He will be indestructible until his release type goes all the way to 0. Now if you don't understand how cracked that is, it does depend on how long it is, but regardless, he's gonna have indestructible while it's releasing. And also note that it only releases while he's on the battlefield, so if you switch him out, it will not be decreasing. He's invincible. Hikari Domain, Maharaga, he's literally untouchable while he's in release type because he will have indestructible, which is nasty. Damage plus 70% uncancelable, nullified damage received element disadvantage, so he's also going to be type neutral. I think he can take damage, but he will have indestructible, so just bear that in mind. Nullify abnormal conditions uncancelable, and here release type, so it's gonna be decreasing to 0. When unique gauge reaches 0, switch to sustain damage type, health plus 20%, fixed healing, so it's always going to be 20%, damage plus 50%, 15 timer counts, and this is uncancelable damage. And then obviously it will go back to sustain damage type, and charges, and this is just the explanation of how it feels, charges when you take damage. So yeah, pretty good. Of course, you can block rising rushes with it. Ultimate arts is if you time it correctly, so it's down to you as a skillful player to make use of his release type gauge if you want to optimize his indestructible. And down here, because he's a legend unit, he's gonna have the legend action, so draw a special move art if there's a defeated ally, which is nice, so that's a blue card. And his one activates from the low area, so from low to high he will actually be able to get 50 key and cancel enemy buff effects. Also, if there's a defeated battle member, he'll draw a special move arts next, which is the blue card, and comboable into it, he can combo the ultimate and the blue card when he's knocking them into the sky. And that's everything for Legend Rarity Bardock. Pretty good, I'm not going to lie to you. Now answering the important question, should you summon? Now based on some factors, if everything goes well, I feel that Bardock will genuinely be the best unit in the game, at the minimum top 3, and if I'm really being pessimistic, top 5. And that's to say how good I think he is. Now let me explain these factors that you should very much consider, and I would advise not summoning straight away. I would say wait at least 2 days to make your decision, honestly. So here are the factors. 1, if his sustained damage type gauge takes a lot of cards to fill up, you won't really get the indestructible up a lot of times in games, so you might get up twice or 3 times if you're lucky, and that means you was getting your ass beat. Honestly, not good. Also, you can just get rising rush, which is a downside. He doesn't have survivability, so you gotta be careful about that. He can lower sub count, so you can get him out of there, but honestly, if it takes too many cards to fill up his gauge, which we don't know, it does start at 50% and there's other ways to fill it, sure, it will be more inconvenient than convenient. You know, you'd be better off using somebody with endurance with buff cancellation or revival, being realistic about it. But it also depends on how long he has the release type gauge for. Considering it only depletes while he's on the battlefield, it's going to be very useful. If it was 3 timer counts, it would probably be a horrible mechanic in game, and it's going to be straight up overrated. He's just going to be a tanky unit that can do damage, which is still good, don't get it twisted, which is why I'm respecting him, but it is conditional based on how long you will have the release type for. It's good that it only decreases while you're on the battlefield, but if it's 3 timer counts, that's pretty useless. Honestly, you got to keep him out of the battlefield until you're ready to use it, because in a battle, in most cases, you will take hits and your allies will take hits, which means that his gauge will be filled at a certain point, whether you can time it perfectly or not. Because it's something that you have to receive, you have to take hits to fill your gauge. It's not dependent on you, so quote unquote timing it isn't exactly in your hands, and that's a downside. Honestly, it's dependent on how the enemy decides to play, if they want to give you that hand for Bardock to be good, but naturally they'll be trying to beat you, so they will be hitting you. But if it's like 7 timer counts or even 10 timer counts, even more than that, Bardock is easily going to be a unit of the ages, which is obviously good or bad depending on what side you're on. Those factors I really feel like you should consider. I should also just mention his stats. It's looking like he's a defense unit, but he does have the good starter ability, so the damage and the damage guard. But if his actual numbers in game are crappy, those are just placebo. It might look crazy, but if his actual numbers in game are horrible, you know, all of that goes down the drain. So you got to be very considerate of that as well. So I do think he's going to be good, but those factors could make or break him, though not so much. It really still depends on the skill factor for you. So yeah, like I said, if I'm being pessimistic, I think he's still going to be top 5 in the game. In a normal sense, if they balance him, I think he'll be top 3. And if they just mess it up somehow, make him super tanky, make his release type last forever, and the sustain type gauge, it doesn't take long to fill, this guy right here, he will probably be the best in the game and last for a very long time. Now, a lot of you want to know whether I'm going to be summoning or not. I have no intention on summoning, but I feel like I'm going to regret it. Honestly, I need to avoid it for the anniversary. I don't want to spend money on this game if I can avoid it, but Bardock is looking to be pretty insane. But I will also mention I'm looking to make content in the next week in Los Angeles, because I will be going to Los Angeles for the 2026 Battle Hour, and I'm planning to kind of let people summon and do fun things like that. Maybe I might record some videos, so I will need CC, so inevitably I will be buying CC, and the banner that will be out in the game is Legend Rarity Bardock. So if you see me with Legend Rarity Bardock next week, it's because I summoned and I was making videos. For that purpose, I think it's understandable. But regarding tomorrow, I won't be summoning because next week I won't be playing Legends that much anyways, because I won't be at home. So right here in this setup, I live in London, I will be in the United States. So yeah, if you see me with Bardock next week, it's because I summoned for content. But this week, as in tomorrow, I won't be summoning. But that works for me anyways, because I'll get to see how Bardock performs, if he's actually good, if he's buns, etc, etc. So in my initial intention to summon, no. But that's only because I'm saving for the anniversary. But am I gonna eventually summon? Yes. And that's because I'm planning to make different type of content. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope this video is really useful and I gave you guys the best sense of information possible. I'm doing my best for these videos. I haven't uploaded that many in the past month, but I'm gonna get back on that coming summer and the anniversary, so don't worry. I have things planned. I'm just working on all different parts, especially with the second channel and my Twitch. I actually play a bunch of other games there, which I've actually slow-key been maining recently. Right now we're playing Modern Warfare 3, the campaign, and it's really fun. We got Miles Morales Spider-Man next, and we're gonna get to Resident Evil 4 because we just finished 2 and 3. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is ZAKASHI, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one, man.